Thanks, Cyrus. Appreciate it. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it. I'm going to share my screen. Please feel free, Natalie, if you don't mind, and I can do it as well, just to check the chat box. If you have questions during the presentation, please feel free to stop, and either myself or Natalie, we can definitely answer your questions. When we get near the end, we will ask Nick and Henry, who are two current PSM students, to share their experiences. And if you have any questions for them or for us, we're absolutely happy to answer that. So feel free to stop me during the presentation. You can ask it by raising your hand, or if you want to put information in the chat, a question in the chat, we're happy to answer it that way. If neither feels comfortable, please feel free to email us after the presentation and we can answer your questions at that time. So I'm going to start out with some program basics. These are our fall 2023 areas of concentration. We have bioprocessing and bioenergy, and Nick and Henry are both from the bioprocessing and bioenergy concentration, so they'll be able to talk about their experiences. We also have a concentration in engineering, technology, and management for agricultural systems, food science and human nutrition, geographic information science, which we usually call GIS. As you'll see, there are many professional programs here on campus at the University of Illinois, but what sets our program apart is many things. I'll just name a few to start out. Our students graduate with a Master of Science in one of these areas, these 4 areas. They graduate in 18 months. Our program is industry focused, so there is no thesis required. And it's an interdisciplinary program with an emphasis on science and business and experiential learning. And I'll talk about those 3 pieces in a few moments. So the science, business, and experiential learning in just a moment. As you may know, we are accepting applications for fall 2023. So we encourage you to apply as soon as you possibly can. So once again, I'm Sarah Priesteff. I'm the Assistant Director of the Illinois PSM program, and you met Natalie Bosecker. She is the Director of the Illinois PSM. You'll see our contact information on the bottom of each slide, our email address, and our website. Please feel free to reach out at any time. We're happy to answer your questions. So like I mentioned, this is an interdisciplinary program. So we have science plus focus on business, organizational management, and leadership. Our students take 32 credit hours in science and 10 credit hours in business. And the great thing is that there are some core courses for each of the concentrations, but there is a lot of flexibility with the curriculum. So if you are interested in a specific area and the courses are approved, you can definitely pursue that interest. Our students also take 3 professionalization courses. This is really, really vital to your success, and this is what sets our program apart from other programs. I want to tell you a little bit about these professionalization courses. So there's 1 graduate seminar each semester. In the fall, our students take PSM 501. That's PSM 501. And it's a focus on developing your professional portfolio, cover letter, elevator pitch, career statement, resume. And we're also helping you develop interviewing techniques and how to start your summer internship and how to attend career fairs. For many students who have maybe never had a job before, this is a really important course so that when you're going to a career fair or walking into a room and trying to network, you feel confident talking about yourself and what your present and future goals are. The second semester, so that is usually the spring semester, our students take PSM 502. That's focused on teamwork, communication skills, securing and preparing for the summer internship, and how to have a successful internship experience. Some of our students have had previous work experience, some have not. So we talk about how to work on a team, how to interact with your supervisor, and how to get the most out of the internship experience. Then you come back in the fall, you are almost ready to graduate, you will feel all grown up, and you will present in September at our poster showcase. So that is a summary of what you learned in the internship experience, and then you're presenting that to a larger audience. In 503, PSM 503, the graduate seminar, we'll also talk about the job market, full-time employment, negotiating relationships in the workplace, and career advancement. And I'll talk a little bit more later about the internship experience specifically. Does anyone have any questions up to this point? For the business courses, our students take courses, many of their courses from faculty in the Geese College of Business. So let's talk about the different possibilities. So many of you may have, well, all of you should have a Bachelor of Science. And I want to just briefly talk about the different advanced degrees and the different options. So we'll talk about 4 different options. I'm going to back up. You have the traditional Master of Science degree, which is focused on research and writing a thesis. Many of our students, or students who pursue the traditional MS in research plus thesis, will probably go on to a doctoral program. Some will go into industry, but this tends to be less interdisciplinary in contrast to our program, which is science plus business. Some of our students some students who are interested in an advanced degree, they will pursue a doctorate. And this is research-based. Students will write a dissertation. They will usually be on an assistantship or a graduate assistantship or teaching assistantship. And for many students, the focus would be entering industry or in academia. Then there are students who pursue an advanced degree in Master of Business Administration. This has no link to science. So this is just focused on business and advancing their coursework in business. Then finally, you have the PSM. So like we talked about, it's science plus business. This is a non-research program. There are students who will work in laboratory settings with faculty at the University of Illinois to do semester-long projects. So you are definitely welcome if you're interested in pursuing research with a faculty member in doing that. Some of our students do pursue research, do pursue PhDs after graduation. It is not a requirement, but some of our students know that they want to have a more interdisciplinary focus before they begin their doctoral program. But a large majority of our students will end up in industry. So you might see the fact that we've been talking about an interdisciplinary degree for a long time. We really focus on building your technical skills alongside your business acumen. And this degree prepares students for leadership and management roles in industry. We find that our students are promoted much more quickly than their counterparts who do not have a PSM degree or do not have an advanced degree. On average, that's 18 to 24 months after they start their new role. We're noticing on the job market that there is a demand for students who have strong technical skills and strong employability skills. So what that means is the ability to work in diverse teams, understand organizational cultures, communicate technical skills to a non-technical audience, and prepare an executive summary for leadership, and put together a project management plan. All of those crucial skills we address in your coursework and in the PSM seminars. Does anyone have any questions? Natalie, anything to add?
No, you're doing great, and there's nothing in chat yet.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. So like I mentioned, for the fall 2023 programs, I'll first talk about the bioprocessing and bioenergy concentration. One of the best things about this concentration is the IBRL, which is the Integrated Bioprocessing Research Laboratory here on campus. It's a pilot scale facility focused on bioprocessing technologies and chemicals and fuels. It's a 10,000 square foot space for processing, so downstreaming and fermentation, and there's also an analytical lab. We also have the second concentration in engineering technology and management for agricultural systems. This is a great degree for students who might have backgrounds in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, but are interested in agricultural production and management. So our students have had very wide-ranging careers. Some are working in construction, some are working in agriculture production. Our third concentration is food science and human nutrition. Alongside the IBRL, we also have the food science and human nutrition pilot processing plant. And that's a pilot pilot plant facility focused on human and pet food technologies. The great thing is that our students, and Nick and Henry can speak to this, at the IBRL and the Fission pilot processing plant, they can work in those facilities either for credit during the school year or as paid part-time employees. So they get hands-on work and experience in the IBRL or in the Fission pilot processing plant. In the Fission pilot processing plant, they're working on fruit and vegetable processing. Sometimes they're making pizzas, they're making cookies, they're working with milling, the extruder, and spray drying. And then our fourth concentration is Geographic Information Science, GIS. The great thing about this is that we're seeing a lot of data scientists who are working in with insurance companies such as State Farm. They're working for departments of transportation. And because on the back end of things, there's the need for mapping for some of these very advanced processes. So for this program, our students graduate on average in 18 months. For most students, it's a fall start. So they'll take at least 12 credit hours in fall, for example, 2023, that would be a mix of business and science. Second semester would be spring of 2024, at least 12 credit hours, a mix of business and science. And then the summer internship. The summer internship can be conducted remotely. It can be conducted on campus. It can be conducted in Illinois. It can be conducted in the United States. Some of our students will temporarily relocate to New York or to Chicago or to Indianapolis, for example. And for students who might want that experience internationally, it can also be conducted internationally. For fall and spring, the requirement is that our students are on campus, that they're living on campus. Some courses may be remote, but most of our courses are in person. Summertime, the on-campus requirement is not there. So that's the time when students may relocate to complete their summer internship. And then most of our students graduate for the third semester. For you, it would be fall 2024. Now, there are some students, especially students who are maybe pursuing a doctoral program, who just want to take more courses related to their area of study, who might take 4 semesters. So that would be fall, spring, fall, and spring. And so that would be a graduation date of fall 2025. You do not have to do that, but that is an option. Some of our students may complete a Yep.
I'm sorry, that would be May of 25.
Oh, thank you. May of 25. Thank you. Thank you. So with the graduation 4 semesters after May of 2025. Some of our students who secure a co-op, which is a 6-month-long internship. So they would start in May of 2024 and finish in December of 2024. They will have a longer internship experience. And if it's a full-time internship experience, then they will graduate in May of 2025. That's definitely an option for students who want to have a longer internship experience. Most of our students, though, will complete their internship experience during a 10 to 12 week period in the summer. So take a moment. We have a very vast and strong network of employers and internship positions that our students have had over the past 10 plus years. 83% of our students, of our graduates from the program, are employed within 6 months, and 100% of our students have completed a summer internship. And like I mentioned before, because of this experiential learning, because they're working with an employer for a sustained period of time, our students are promoted more quickly, so 18 to 24 months after they begin the job, than their counterparts. We're also finding, because of this strong experiential component, that our students are given full-time offers after graduation. They're able to convert that internship experience into a full-time offer after graduation. Many of you who are on the University of Illinois campus may be familiar with Research Park. We have a very strong history of internship and full-time placements with Research Park on campus. So our students have worked for companies like Abbott, AbbVie, ADM, Amarin. We have a student who's actually going to be working for Amarin this summer as an intern, Bayer Crop Science. So there are ways, if you would like to stay for the summer internship, if you don't want to relocate, that you can work locally on campus. Here are some of the careers that our students have had. Natalie, do you want to talk about the fact that our students have such varied careers and that they're able to translate their skills into maybe different departments within the same company?
Sure. So as well as the companies being varied, the positions in which our students are going into after they graduate are also very diverse. And this is a quick listing of some of those job titles that the alumni are going to. You can see that some of these focus more on their lab skills, and they either need to start there as in that particular company, or that's where they're really interested in. Many of the alumni who've gone through the program have found that their business skills really give them an edge, and they can use those in whatever position they start with and can move within their company or in another position fairly quickly. And I think a lot of it depends on the student's interests and what they find appealing and passionate about to pursue. So there's a lot of diversity in what's available and how the students find placements in the future. Along with the career placement and the internship placement, we want the student to lead that effort, because we want to make sure that the student focuses on their passions and what they're interested in. But the PSM office provides a great deal of support for helping coach the students with their application materials, as well as doing some mock interviews to make sure that they're ready and as competitive as possible during that interview process.
Thank you. Yes, I've talked with alumni who have said that they, for maybe a few years, were a bench scientist, but they wanted to move out of the laboratory setting into a leadership or administrative role. And because they had those foundational skills in management and in business, that they were able to successfully transition within their company. We definitely spend a lot of time with our students. I think Nick and Henry can attest to that. So we provide one-on-one individualized support. We're happy to meet with you on a weekly basis. Sometimes that will happen at all of the steps along the way. So we're not just throwing you out there and expecting you to have a well-written cover letter or a resume that is tailored to the jobs to which you're applying. We are helping you with that. And thankfully, here at the University of Illinois, there are many services in addition to ours to help with career development and career support. So here is the cost and financial information breakdown. We are a self-funded or self-supporting program, so there are no assistantships, no scholarships, or no funding available. Having said that, many of our students do work part-time, especially the second semester. They do work part-time on campus. So many of our students will work up to 20 hours per week to have a small amount of income on this on the side. You'll see in asterisks the fees. The fees will change a little bit, but they will stay pretty close. It might be $50 to $75 change, but they're going to be pretty close to what is listed. So the total for our residents, so those are residents of the state of Illinois, you can see that for fall and spring, it's a little over $10,000. For summer, it's $2,000, and for fall is $10,000. For students that decide to stay a fourth semester, so spring 2025, this number would be greatly reduced because you do not have to take a full course load as long as you have satisfied all of your degree requirements, which would be 32 credit hours in science, 10 credit hours in business, and the 4 PSM courses. For non-residents, you'll see the totals down here, 15,783, and then just moving across to summer, and then again fall 15,783. So we have the totals there, and for the international total is just a bit more than the non-resident total. Each of you will be assigned an Illinois PSM program faculty advisor. These are faculty members who have been in their areas, in their program areas for a very long time, have a deep and long understanding of the industry, and are there to guide you just like we are at every step along in the process. So the bioprocessing and bioenergy faculty advisor is Dr. Beth Connerty. The faculty advisor for food science and human nutrition is Dr. Nikki Angeseth. The faculty advisor for GIS is Dr. Michael Min. And the great thing is that many of these faculty members teach, so you will be able to have them as your advisor and then be with them in your classes as well. And for engineering, technology, and management for agricultural systems, or ETMIS, that's Dr. Paul Davidson. Here are some of the requirements, and as you may know, admissions are now open, and we encourage you to apply as soon as possible. The requirements will be an unofficial transcript from your undergraduate institution, 3 letters of recommendation. That can be from a faculty member, that can be from a professional reference. Some of our students have worked in industry for a few years before applying to the PSM program, so if you have a strong professional reference, that is acceptable as well. A personal statement is usually a 1 to 2 page statement about your professional goals, a little bit of information about your background and how you hope to translate your educational training and your professional interests into your graduate studies and into your future career placements. The GRE, or the graduate exam, is optional for fall 2023. So you do not have to take that for fall 2023 admissions. For this fall 2023 admission cycle, the deadline application is June 1st for international students. So that would be June 1st, 2023 for international students, and July 1st for domestic students. Our process is called a rolling admissions. So we are accepting and making admissions decisions right now. So if you're interested in our program, we encourage you to apply as soon as possible, because the concentration areas may fill up before the deadline approaches. So you may submit an application on May 29th, let's say to Fission, but if that program has reached its capacity, then the program will no longer be accepting students. So please, if you're interested, apply as soon as possible. Once again, you have our contact information. Please feel free to reach out via email, phone, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Excuse me. So I've done a lot of talking. I'm going to take a pause. Hi, Wayne. Hi, Joe. Thanks for joining us. We've got 4 current students with us. Thanks so much for joining us. Natalie, before I turn it over to the students and any student questions, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, you did a great job of covering all of it. There's plenty more to talk about. We do a lot of we do some social activities so that the students get a chance to meet each other and begin those professional relationships that can help serve you throughout your career. We do a lot of planning for your career, and even though we know that there's a lot of unknowns, you may know a lot about the industry that you want to go into, you may know nothing, but hopefully we can help provide some support for you and some contacts in our own networks that can help get you connected and get you into the areas that you're most interested in.
So we have a few PSM students, and I don't want to put any of our current PSM students on in the hot seat. So I'll just introduce the 4 of you, and then feel free if you want to unmute yourselves and offer any kind of input or positives about your experience. So Nicholas Fazio is a bioprocessing and bioenergy student. in the PSM program. Henry Lynn is also a bioprocessing and bioenergy PSM student. Wayne, who just joined us, is a GIS student, and Joseph is a GIS student as well. So Nick, Henry, Wayne, Joe, would anyone like to share their thoughts and experiences thus far?
And all of these students have an internship lined up for the summer.
Yeah, congrats.
I can start off first if you'd like.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, so my name is Nick Fazio. I'm originally from Chicago, and I actually went here at University of Illinois for my undergrad in chemical engineering. I graduated back in 2017. I was working in several different labs, corporate labs, for a few years, and I learned in research and in the labs, tends to be a bit of a limit. I realized I was progressing in my career, but I wasn't progressing very much. So I figured I would look into options to fields like biofuels that I was really passionate about, and I discovered this, so I signed up. Yeah, it's been really great so far. Coming from like business proper, I see a lot of the correlation, and a lot of the lessons are really really sticking, because I've seen them being applied, and I can say, oh yeah, this I've had to deal with this, or I had to learn the hard way about this or that. So it's really valuable knowledge to have. To have have the technical skills that you really go into in undergrad, but also have at least an idea of how to address a superior, how to send a good email to someone you want to talk to, or someone you want to impress, how to maintain a LinkedIn profile, how to network, how to be more effective in something besides just the technical know-how.
Thank you, Nick. You worked fall semester in the IBRL. Would you be willing to share a little bit about that experience and what it was like to work alongside the other scientists and then other students?
So I didn't work in IBRL fall, but I did work here this semester.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay, that's right. Thank you.
So IBRL is really, really interesting because it offers a hands-on experience, and with internship or with a credit option, you can just sign up like any normal class. There's no homework associated with it. There's no finals or anything like that, but it's a good opportunity to get an idea of how to set your own schedule, how to commit to that schedule, how to communicate to a superior if you can't make it on time, or negotiate to figure out, oh, well, I can come in, or I can stay a little later today, but I can't come in this day. It's just a softer way of doing it without anything on the line, like your job or a raise or anything like that. But the biggest and most valuable part of it is that you get real hands-on experience working with the reactors, working with other people, with the centrifuges or the lab equipment, just experience that's really, really hard to get in the field in an actual career, because it tends to be so closed off, because it tends to be very, you should know this by now, or you should have had this experience already. So it's a really good opportunity to get that experience and to have that on your job application or your resume, to say, I've worked with this, I know a little more about this than just theory.
And can I add on to that?
Absolutely, please do.
I'm Henry, and I also work in the IBRL, but I started working last fall, so it's been almost a year. And so other than the hands-on experience that you can get, another aspect of it is the culture of working. And that's pretty big for me because I'm not from the US, I'm from Taiwan. And the cultural difference was pretty big. So working at the IBRL, I kind of, well, you can see how what the American working culture is, and I think that prepares me for my future internship, which is in a similar setting. And um, yeah, yeah. Also, the IBRL people, the supervisors, they're all really nice. If you don't have any experience, you can just ask. They teach you everything. There are also some great peers to work with. A lot of them are from other disciplines, and it's just interesting to see how different people work from different backgrounds. Yeah.
I appreciate that you brought up learning about the American work culture and workplace and the organization, because I think that's helpful for for domestic students and international students. So we have a large international population that are part of the Illinois PSM program. And because so many of our students would like to work in the United States after they graduate, and we are a STEM designated program. So for international students that are on a F1 student visa, the internship is as a required component of the program. So those students would be on CPT at the time. And then after you graduate, because we're a STEM designated program, you can work in the United States for up to 3 years. So students do not require sponsorship as long as they're on their F1 visa and they're in good standing. They do not require sponsorship during those first 3 years after graduation, as long as everything is in order with regards to their visa. This is a huge question. I see Henry nodding his head. This is a huge question that our international students get all the time. So it's important to know that you have the institutional support to be able to finish the program. And then if you decide to do so, to stay in the United States and work for 3 years. Also, if you are a food science and human nutrition student, or you're interested in the food science and human nutrition concentration, many of our students, if you're interested in fermentation, working with alternative protein sources, many of our fission students who have a background in biotechnology will work at the IBRL. So please don't feel like just because you're not a bioprocessing and bioenergy student that you would be excluded from that space. If you have the appropriate credentials and academic and training, that's definitely an option to work for credit or to work part-time. Wayne or Joe, who are both in GIS, anything that you would like to share about your experience?
Well, I am Joe, and I undergraded here at U of I as well. And I started this program because I didn't know too much about my industry. I knew I liked a lot of the things, but I wanted to get some industry experience. So the internship during the summer was really enticing, I suppose. And so far it's been really great. Especially the communication skills, knowing how to interview well, creating a cover letter, improving my resume. It's been super great. I have a great internship with Ameren lined up. And my business classes have probably been some of my more fun classes, which I didn't really expect. But yeah, I have really enjoyed this program. So
Thanks for sharing, Joe.
Hi everyone, my name is Wayne, and I'm the first graduate student in the GIS PSM program. And I'm also in the same program as Joe. And I really appreciate everything that PSM program has provided so far. Actually, the benefits of the PSM program is it combines the business courses and the science courses together. So you can learn some business skills of how to find a job or how to build up your professional skills in job search. And in the meantime, you can learn a lot of science skills in the area that you're interested in. So yeah, that's the part I really like the PSM program. And we also have a lot of activities like in Halloween, so we have some pumpkin carvings, and we also have some of the escape room activities. So people get along well with each other, and yeah, which is very good. You have the chance to meet the people from different programs.
That's really important. So if you are not a University of Illinois undergraduate student and you're concerned about being part of a community, we do our best to organize monthly and bi-monthly activities. We also encourage students to do things on their own, but we have things like luncheons, we have game nights, escape room, like Wayne mentioned, outings to Curtis Orchards, which is a local pumpkin and apple farm. And especially post-COVID, we're able to do a lot more things together. So I think international and domestic students really work together. They take their classes together. And so we try to foster a very strong sense of community so that people feel involved. And if they want to participate or come to luncheon, they're more than welcome to. So
I have a quick question for the students, if you don't mind. So you don't all have to answer, but I would just like to take a quick poll, and I haven't set this up with them. So just so that you know, we'll get real answers here. So before you started the program, when you were still thinking about it, how did you feel about applying to jobs? How confident did you feel versus how you feel now?
Before, so I applied to several jobs during undergrad. It all went pretty bad because I have no idea how to do interviews. And yeah, having like a class dedicated to help you get jobs, it's been amazing. And I feel really confident in, in interviews compared to before.
Yeah, mine, I did not feel confident at all because I had done some interviews and they went terrible. I didn't really know how to write a cover letter at all, and pretty much all jobs wanted that. And I didn't feel comfortable with the amount of experience that I had before. But this has definitely helped with all those concerns. Yeah.
Sorry, did someone say something?
No, go ahead, Nick.
Okay. I had been interviewing in like job hopping for 5 years. So I had some good interviews. I had some really bad interviews. I will say that after the program, I feel a lot more confident with cover letters, resumes, elevator pitches, and on-the-spot interviews. That has happened twice now, and I am very glad for the PSM program to
And
help me spot those.
Did I hear that you doubted us about that at one point?
I did. I because the elevator pitch is about the hypothetical situation that you meet the CEO in an elevator and you've got like 20 seconds before the next floor to introduce yourself, say who you are, what you did. And I was talking to someone at a career fair thing, and he was interested, and he was offering an internship possibility. And the next day, I run into him in the vestibule for a bus. And it was an on-the-spot interview with him. And then his co-CEO was his ride home. So it was an on-the-spot interview with him as well. So it was really good that I recognized it was an interview about a minute in into the conversation.
It does happen.
And you
Oh,
were
wow.
offered, and you were offered
Yeah.
that position.
Oh
Nick-
yeah, and
Yep.
and
Nick was
in the
offered
end, I've got the position.
waiting for a bus. So yeah. Sorry, Wayne, go ahead.
Yeah. Before coming to the University of Illinois, I have no idea the job searching or the skills of how to build your professional. But in the PSM program, they teach me a lot of skills like how to write a cover letter, how to do an elevator pitch, how to do an interview. So I feel more confident compared to last year when I have no ideas about how to secure a job in the US, especially for international students. This parts really help. And this program is a little bit different from other Master of Science program because it includes a lot of skills of how to teach you to set you apart in the job market. So I really appreciate it.
So Ethan, Solomon, Kelsey, Kai, and Cyrus, please feel free if you would like to ask questions, feel free to unmute yourselves or put a question in the chat or email us after the session.
For Ethan, if you're an alumni, let's see your face and you can give some of your perspective too.
Thanks, Cyrus. Thanks, Solomon. Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, I just want to thank everyone so much for your time. Thank you, Nick, Henry, and Wayne, and Joe for joining us. It's always a pleasure to hear about your experiences. And for everyone else, I hope you got a sense of the fact that we just have a really strong culture here. We really try to support one another and encourage one another and have very strong and constant communication with one another so that our students feel supported and successful and like they're part of a program that cares about them. So thank you everyone for your time, and I will put our email in the chat. And I will also, Kelsey, I see a question. Just one moment, I'll answer that.
She's just thanking us.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I will also send each of you a recording of the session and with our contact information in case you have any follow-up questions.
Hi, I just have a quick question.
Sure, please go ahead.
How many students are there currently in the PSM program for the food science and human nutrition?
So Natalie, am I allowed to disclose that information or?
Well, it's sort of a moving target. It moves every week. Currently, I think we're at 4. Is that right? But we have several applications that are nearing the end of the process and are in the process of going on to the next step. So that number, and I think there are 6 of those. So that number can change pretty quickly.
Kai, so if we have 4 concentrations, so this cohort that you're talking with, they started in fall of 2022. There are 23 students in that cohort. So the cohorts range from 20 to 25 students. So it's not too small and it's not too large, which helps Natalie and myself give you constant and individualized support and guidance throughout the entire time that you're here.
So you're saying that you guys will accept about 4 to 5 students in the food science one?
No, the food science, I'm sorry, the food science group of the cohort that started this past fall had 10 students, but usually they don't have too many more than that.
Okay.
So if you are interested, please apply as soon as possible. And if you have any follow-up questions about the application process, we're happy to help you. Happy to direct you to the right resources.
But I've been working on the application, and I'm on the point where all I need is the references from the professors, and I just don't want the references to be like the part where like that I will be like, you know, submitting the application late due to the references. You know what I mean?
Well, you can go ahead and submit your application, even if you don't have the letters in already, and the system will automatically send a notice to the people that you have selected to write your letters. We do keep track of that, especially this time of year, because we know that professors can get bogged down with other priorities. And so, you know, if it's been over a week that we're waiting on a letter, we will contact the person who we need the letter from, and usually we'll contact the applicant to let them know that there's been a delay on getting a letter in. And, you know, at some point, if that delay happens too long, we can also ask for a letter from someone else.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That won't hurt your application. I mean, as long as those letters of reference come in, but that happens often where students have to switch a letter of reference, and that's not a problem as long as it's done in a timely manner. Thanks, Ethan. All right. Thanks everyone for your time. Have a great night.